I never chose Sunnyside Estates for love. I chose it for logistics. Close to work, close to the woods, close to peace. The winding trails here offered a quiet refuge, one I thought I'd earned. A place where Maverick, my golden retriever, my battle-tested companion, could breathe freely. He isn't just a dog. He's the tether that keeps me grounded when the storms of memory rise too fast, too loud. Maverick is flawless in his duty. Vest on, commands crisp, presence unwavering. I know the Americans with disabilities act like scripture. That knowledge isn't a choice. It's armor. I just never thought I'd use it. In my own neighborhood. Cut to the scrape of sandals, the snap of a clipboard. A woman's shadow breaches the frame. Karen Whitfield arrived precisely how you'd imagine. Khaki uniform, practiced frown, power pulsing at her heels. "I don't believe I approved a dog for this community," she sniffed. I told her, truthfully and gently, that Maverick was a federally protected service animal. Not a pet. Not optional. She muttered something about loopholes and turned on her heel. I thought that was the end. It was the beginning. Quick flash cuts, a ruler against grass, a paint swatch held to a mailbox, a trash can lid slowly closing. 3 citations arrived in the mailbox before the ink had dried on my welcome mat. Too long grass, wrong black paint, garbage bins, visible for all of 45 minutes after pickup. Each letter signed in looping cursive, punctuated with a smiley face. The kind of smile that doesn't reach the eyes, the kind that bares teeth. I complied, trimmed, repainted, tugged the bins behind the fence, but I felt it, the quiet hunt. Then came the meeting. Scene shift, a flickering fluorescent light in a community center. Papers shuffle. Karen's voice cuts like steel. A proposed bylaw. Every animal, every one, must be registered, identified, tagged. Even service animals. I raised my hand. Carefully. Calmly. "It violates federal law," I said. Her response was blade sharp and broadcast. "Federal law doesn't override our standards." The room fell into silence. Discomfort scratched at the walls, but no one spoke. Afterward, she approached, low enough for no one else to hear. "If you want to be difficult, I can be difficult too." Her breath smelled of coffee and warning. And then, she walked away. Morning light. A porch. Peace briefly returned. Maverick rests at my feet. That quiet Saturday, I was reading the paper when I saw her shadow stretch like a storm across my lawn. Karen, again. Khaki shorts, spray bottle in hand, her eyes alight with mission. "Your dog is in violation," she declared for the whole street to hear. "No HOA identification." I reminded her, orderly and firm, that Maverick is a service dog, that the law defends him, that her new rule hadn't even been approved yet. Her mouth twisted. "I'm tired of you military types thinking you're above the rules," she snapped. Then, without warning, she raised the bottle and sprayed, directly, into Maverick's face. He yelped, shocked more than hurt, backed away, rubbing his muzzle against the porch. My breath turned to ash. "What did you just spray on him?" I demanded. "Just vinegar and water," she said with a smug little shrug. "Won't hurt. Maybe now he'll learn to obey." But it wasn't about obedience. It was about control. Years of training quieted my pulse. Priorities: tend to Maverick. Protect him first. I brought him inside, rinsed his eyes, calmed his heartbeat with the steadiness he so often gives me. Then I called the police. Cut to doom-laced chords. A 911 dispatcher's voice echoes across the fading tension. "Injuring a service animal is a federal offense," I reminded them. They arrived 20 minutes later. I showed them the documents, the vest, the evidence. The dog who had never failed anyone. One officer stayed. The other knocked on Karen's door. From across the lawn, I could see her fury dance. Her arms flailed, her face flushed crimson. But the law didn't flinch. She confessed to spraying him, claimed she was enforcing the rules. They took her words seriously, told her about federal law, told her about animal cruelty. Then they told her she was under arrest. Scene, flashing lights, neighbors gather along the sidewalks like whispers made flesh. She screamed threats as they cuffed her. "I'll have him evicted. The neighborhood will turn on him." But she was shouting to ghosts. One neighbor leaned toward another and muttered, "She finally went too far." Another came to me later, eyes low, tone soft. "I'm sorry. We've all been afraid of her, but not anymore." Montage. Courtroom doors swing open. A judge's gavels rings. The justice system moved swiftly. Karen was charged with interfering with a service animal, animal cruelty, and harassment. She arrived in court wearing designer clothes and entitlement. Her lawyer looked like he wanted to disappear into the bench as the facts took center stage. The judge didn't flinch. "This court," he said, "does not elevate HOA rules over federal protections." The hammer dropped. 30 days in county jail, $5,000 fine, 200 hours at an animal shelter, mandatory disability rights training. Her jaw trembled. "I was just enforcing the rules," she whispered. The judge leaned forward. "No. The most important rule is respect for the law and those it was written to protect." Final scene, courthouse steps, late afternoon sun stretching long shadows across concrete. Karen being led away in cuffs, eyes meet. Something broken in hers now, stripped of superiority. She mouthed something. Maybe, "This isn't over." But it was, and we both knew that. Shift to Maverick sitting calmly beside me, his gaze steady, his body still. I reached down and scratched behind his ear. He leaned into my hand, subtle and strong. A quiet gesture, a silent vow. We'd endured the storm, and together we were still standing.